Fortnite Chapter 5 is just 2 days away, and today we're going to be going over how I think Fortnite can keep the OG players back for Chapter 5. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and use code WATSOG to support my item shop. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so I've made this little quick mock-up of some points I'd like to go over, and we're just gonna speed through these real quick. Alright, so first for the map. The map is something that I think needs to have a few things in order for people to stick around. I think the Chapter 5 map needs to have some original POIs, just so people don't feel like, oh my god, I don't recognize this, I'm just gonna quit. So we could easily like slap, let's say, maybe like right over here. Let me actually get a better color for this. Right over here, that could be an OG POI. Let's just, for example, let's make that, let's do Junk Junction. We'll do that for this OG POI. Alright, that does not look very good. Alright, so we got one OG POI over here. We could easily slap like a few more, like maybe we could throw one over here or over here somewhere, but we aren't going to get that into it. We're just going to say we need a few OG POIs so people feel somewhat familiar with the map. Next, I would like to discuss what we should have come back for Chapter 5 and what we think should stay vaulted. So first, I just want to get some like OG features out of the way. I think we should have some OG weapons stay in the loot pool. I also think that we should have more unique vehicles stay. Stuff like the ballers and the hoverboards and stuff like that. I think those should stay because it's kind of more fun than just driving a car, if you know what I'm saying. And then some things that I think, another thing is rarity. Weapon rarity this season is like really nice because rare weapons feel like rare weapons, you know what I'm saying? There's no, oh, I have like 30,000 purple scars or something like that. No, you'd be lucky to get a purple weapon. Don't even try going for a gold one. I don't think I found a single like gold pump this season. So rarity is definitely something that I think will make the game feel more interesting because it's like, oh, gold pump, let's go. And then, as I said before, OG POIs. I think we should have some OG POIs around the map, you know, okay, kind of make it feel familiar, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so now into some newer, I'd say Chapter 2 to Chapter 4 features that I think should come back for Chapter 5. First, swimming. You know, there's no harm in bringing back more movement. And on top of that, I'll bring fishing, because, you know, you can get some good heals from that. You can also, if you don't want to do heals, you could throw in some nice items, you know, stuff like stinkfish, rift fish. Those are always nice. If you don't really want to do the heals anymore with them, you know, you always have that option. Another thing I think should come back are upgrade benches. And I know you might be saying, oh, but doesn't that like clash with like the rarity kind of thing you were saying earlier? I think they should be reverted back to using materials instead of gold, because you have to make a choice. Do you want to get a rare weapon and sacrifice a bunch of your materials, or do you want to have more builds so you don't have to worry about that in a build fight? I don't really know how that work in zero build. I don't know, they could probably figure something out, but yeah, upgrade benches I think should come back. And then same thing with side grading. Side grading I think just adds more variety to the loot pool without clogging it up, if you know what I'm saying. You have a bunch of different weapons you could use without having to clog up chests with more stuff, so it feels like you can actually find weapons, but you could still have a choice of what you want to use. I think that's something that's been missing recently in Fortnite, that this season has kind of shown that choice is nice, and we should have choice when playing the game and what weapons we want to use. I still want to throw hurdling on here. I know it's pretty much confirmed that it is coming back, but yeah, more movement's always nice, you know, doesn't harm the game, it just adds more to it. This one might be a bit controversial. Augments. So a lot of people didn't like augments like in the later seasons, but I do think earlier on when they were more unique, they were actually good, and a lot of people liked them because they could actually like change up how you play the game a little bit. You know, it adds more variety, you know, something that, you know, having more diverse loot pools benefits from, like as we see this season. And you know, as long as they like make cool unique augments, I don't see a problem with them bringing it back, although rerolling might have to be reworked because I don't think, because I'll get into gold later, but yeah, I don't think gold should come back. Alright, and speaking of that, I actually think I am done with my comeback list, and we're gonna get into my vaulted list, the things that I think should stay vaulted, and we're gonna start that off by doing bars or gold. Alright, so gold, you know, it was an interesting feature when it first came out, and you know, it was nice, but it kind of made getting higher rarity weapons a bit too easy. And also, like, a lot of the times, you would often, like in later seasons, it did feel kind of useless because you wouldn't even need it to get higher rarity weapons because there was just so much good loot around the map. So it was kind of pointless. So I think it's just not a positive for the game, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think it should be still in the game. I think they should remove it, or at the very least rework it. Another thing that I think should stay vaulted are keys and hollow chests. So keys, you know, good for good loot. You know, hollow chests, good for good loot. That's another thing with the rarity. I think you don't want as much crazy loot on the map. It's kind of like the same point. I do want there still to be exotics, but I want them to be rarer. You know what I'm saying? I think how they did them in Chapter 2 Season 5 at the beginning, where there was only one that you could buy and it was very expensive. I think that was interesting. I think you could definitely do that. But instead of with NPCs, maybe just throw it in a vending machine. Like, kind of how, like, if you guys, yeah, I know, shameless plug here, but I have a creative map called Watts Royale. And we have exotic vending machines around the map that you can only purchase once. And once you buy it, it's done. You can't get it anymore. So I think they should do something like that. They want to keep exotics around. So I'll actually throw that over here. Alright. Good. Another thing that I think they should keep vaulted are mythic bosses or mythic POIs. Yeah. So, mythic bosses, mythic POIs, they always just have too much good loot, and we've been kind of making it clear that rarity is something that this game kind of needs and kind of has needed for a while. So, yeah, it's kind of like a lot of things I'm mentioning here just kind of have that same issue. Another thing that I want to say is I think cars should be vaulted, and I'll put fuel with that in, you know, along with that. I'll put fuel with that. You know, they were cool at the beginning when they first came out, right? Because like, oh, so many cars, but cars... The problem isn't the cars as themselves, it's what the cars brought with them. It's the gas. It kind of ruined almost every other vehicle, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, stuff like planes would be a bit broken if they had infinite fuel, but it would just be more fun, and you don't have to throw everything in competitive. I know that's what you think you need to do, but trust me, you don't. I think this game would be a lot more fun if Fortnite split ranked and competitive. If Fortnite split ranked and casual a bit better, because right now that they have the exact same loot pool, doesn't matter. Like, they just don't care. So it's kind of a mess, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I don't know how I got there when I was talking about cars, but you know, we did. Alright, so my next point isn't really for any of these, but I just want to kind of put it down here. More unique weapons. So I feel like something that Fortnite hasn't really tinkered with like recently has been unique weapons and items. A lot of the stuff, especially in Chapter 4 that we got, kind of just felt like recycled content. Like, one very good example is the MK Alpha that was literally just an MK7, and it just wasn't interesting. Like, I feel like a lot of the Chapter 4 items weren't really that good for content. You know, when the only things you're getting are new red dot rifles, you know, it's not that crazy. Sure, there was like good stuff here and there. You know, you had the Most Wanted update. That was a really good update. Yeah, the Star Wars update, another one. The Jujutsu Kaisen one was fine. Wasn't crazy, but yeah. Also, another thing I want to say is, alright, I know this one's a bit specific and niche, but anime ball mythics, you know what I'm talking about? The Deku Smash and the Hollow Purple. Those, they're not fun to play against. They're the same item, so kind of passing it off as unique content is a bit iffy, if you know what I'm saying. And it's just not interesting when the item is just a reskin basically of another item. Again, that might be accurate to like the show or whatever, but I'd rather you do something else that's more original. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I think I covered basically everything I wanted to cover. Alright, do you guys agree with what I think should come back and what I think should stay vaulted? And do you guys think that we should be getting more unique weapons in the game? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to use code WATSOG to support me in the item shop. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.